Audio production begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Community Foundation Spotlight. I'm your host, Erica Joseph, the president of the Community Foundation, and today I am thrilled to have Jamie Hayes, the executive director, president, correct me, which one? President of Junior Achievement of the Lower Eastern Shore, to talk with us about all the amazing work that you do throughout our community. So welcome.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, I would imagine that many of the viewers have heard about Junior Achievement, especially anyone who has kids here in school. But for those who might not have had the chance to connect with Junior Achievement in the past, tell me a little bit about what you do.
Yes, I hope everyone's heard about us, but if you haven't, Junior Achievement is a nonprofit organization. We teach three things: financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship. We teach kindergarten through 12th grade, and we teach in 6 counties here on the shore, almost 7,000 kids. So we have quite a large reach. And we start introducing concepts in kindergarten, and we build on them every year with age-appropriate curriculum until they reach high school, where they're learning about interviews and creating a resume and budgeting and opening a checking account and understanding what all of that entails, what a credit score is and what credit cards are and all that good stuff. So it's a lot.
And having a wonderful complement to the education curriculum that they're getting in the classroom, because you go right into classrooms every single day, not just you, but many, many volunteers, and partner with teachers to supplement what they're doing and help teach those real life skills that we all need to be successful in the long run.
Exactly. We sort of make school relevant. So you're learning reading, writing, arithmetic, and then we're applying it to how you're going to use that in the business world. And the best part about Junior Achievement, and the unique part, is that we have business members from the community come in and deliver the curriculum. So it's also tying the school bubble with the business world as well. So there's like this great connection there. Plus we have financial advisors giving financial education pieces. We have accountants giving accounting knowledge. It's just the experts and real life information at the exact same time. So it's cool.
And you mentioned that it's, age appropriate curriculum, and I know from personal experience you couldn't make it easier for someone who's never taught, because you get a kit of every single thing you need, every sticker, every worksheet, name badges for all the kids, and it's a great way for people here in the community who are doing something at a desk or in a bank or in their accounting firm or whatever to get in the classroom and see day to day how teachers are inspiring and educating, and also what some of the challenges are for how to communicate to, kids of all different levels. But JA does such a fantastic job of making it sort of, so user-friendly. Let's pick an example just for someone who's not either experienced JA or been able to get into the classroom and teach it. So what might you talk about with kindergarten students? Okay,
so I actually get that question a lot. They're like, what are you teaching them about personal finance? And I'm like, we start introducing concepts. So we have Polly Saves a Penny for the playground, and it's all about her experience with helping to save money for a playground for her school. So it starts to really talk about economics and e-commerce and using money to buy something. And we think that's so simple, and you think, well, they might probably pick that up, but it isn't something that they see. Remember, parents use credit cards, so there isn't an exchange of cash very much anymore. So it's really hard for kids to grasp that concept. And they do simple activities. They're coloring a nickel, they're coloring a quarter, they're coloring a penny. But I'm glad that you said it is easy, because I have so many people that are so fearful of going into the classroom, but it is so easy. We literally give you a guidebook that says, say your name, tell them what you do, introduce, so it's walking you through everything. And we give you a training, we give you all the material. You're not coming up with the topics or, the hands-on activity that you need to deliver. We give you everything.
And it's great. I know for us, being, in the nonprofit world and partnering with organizations like Junior Achievement, it's a great way for us to, get out and volunteer ourselves at the foundation. But it's not just for business folks. So I know if you're, a mom who's able to stay home and have the time to get into the classroom, there's an opportunity there. So it's not just business people, it's really anybody that has the time or can make the time to get into the classroom.
Volunteers bring our programs to life. So, K through 5, a lot of them are just simple concepts that we just need someone to come and talk to the kids about. So yeah, if you have time, anybody can teach. I mean, we have retired, we have stay-at-home moms, we have stay-at-home dads, we have any walk of life can come into that classroom. And let me tell you, you are a rock star for about 45 minutes, as you probably know from teaching. They are just so excited that someone else is coming to visit them, someone else is telling them real adult stuff, which is super cool. I mean, talking about credit cards is super cool to a 3rd grader, and who would have known? But yeah, so it is easy, and if you have the time, it's very rewarding. It's something that you leave, and you can tell if you've had that aha moment. If you've hit something with someone, you walk away and you think that has just triggered them for the rest of their life. They will always remember that.
Right,
it's
and
pretty
sort
cool.
of help inspire them. And like you said, make that connection between what they're learning in the classroom and what their plans are for the real world. Because kids start learning and thinking really early about what they might want to do. And having those volunteers there talking about their real life jobs or their real life experiences.
Spending habits are set by 4th grade. So you really need to instill savings and the understanding of money concepts early. So the earlier, the better. And so we start, right away in kindergarten. And then in middle school, we start thinking about business and careers and jobs and work ethic. Talking to them about filling out a resume, interview questions. What are the jobs out there? People are like, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a policeman. And those are all wonderful things. But there is a world out there of so many jobs. You like art, you could be a graphic designer. And these are the kind of things that they're like, what's a graphic designer, So we start introducing all those things. And a lot of my high school students usually pick their career from the delivery of our programs because they're like, oh, I never even knew that existed. That sounds cool. I always say, if you love your job, you never work a day in your life. So, and hopefully if they find something they're passionate about, it helps them, laser focus on what they can do to be successful.
Right, absolutely. We're with Jamie Hayes, the president at Junior Achievement. You're based here in Wycomico County, but you serve 6 counties. And we have the benefit of being able to integrate your Junior Achievement program. So you've talked a little bit about the classroom focus, but because you focus on those broader areas that are so important to a community's success, you've done a great job at partnering with other entities in the community. And so over the summer and coming up this summer, you'll be working with the City of Salisbury and Greater Salisbury Committee and others on their summer jobs program. Talk a little bit about that, because I think it just highlights how nonprofits in our community are so versatile and so willing to collaborate and sort of move outside of their box a little bit, because their expertise can, help boost up something else that's happening in the community.
I was so honored when I heard about this project, what a great program they were putting together. And the one thing I thought we could add as Junior Achievement and what we do was, these students are going to get paychecks for the very first time in their entire life. Some of them don't have checking accounts. They don't know what taxes are. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that you learn kind of on your first job. But if you're going home to parents that maybe don't understand, who are you going to find that out from? Employers don't really have the time. So JA added the educational component. We talked about opening a banking account. We talked about what ACH is, because they weren't going to see a check. It was going to go in direct deposit into their account, and they were very confused about that.
Which is so strange, because I have my very first check stub from the very first paycheck I ever got. I just can't ever, I go through the files and it's still in there, so I keep it. So to think, that, kids nowadays are never... Many of them never seeing that tangible aspect of their...
Right, and so think about that. They're never going to get a paycheck that they go to the bank and they sign on the back and deposit. Money is becoming such a non-visible concept that, it's really becoming difficult for kids to grasp. And when you don't hold it and see it disappear, you also lose that connectivity with the money. So it's a lot easier to spend it, which is unfortunate. It's how people get in trouble and how bankruptcies happen. And bankruptcies obviously have a huge impact on our community, but we were honored to help them. We explained taxes to them. They figured out their payroll taxes. And then we started talking about budgeting. Okay, now you have money. Let's put some in savings. Like, are you going to college? What kind of things do you need? Are you going to have a car, gas? Like, let's calculate that. We did some budgeting. From there, we also helped them put a resume together. As their first job, we had them acquire skills, keep track of that. They got a letter of reference from the mayor, from the Greater Salisbury Committee, and from Junior Achievement to put in their portfolio. We showed them how to do a cover letter. And I said to them, jobs that pay well want resumes. You're not filling out an job application. They want resumes, and you have to show something. And you know, when you leave a job, you're going to be getting a letter of reference, so keep those ties. You know,
those relationships become really powerful.
We talk about conflict management, so maybe you don't get along with your supervisor and how you handle that, because you want that positive letter when you leave. And I think that changes the attitudes of kids when they realize, wow, if you burn that bridge, that's it. And so I felt like as a whole we added an element that that really kind of rounded out the program.
Now, there's so much that goes on at Junior Achievement. You know, the classroom-based activity, some of the projects that you get involved with in the community on the larger scale. If someone wants to volunteer or just sort of, you know, get more familiar with, you know, sort of this whole mission of helping kids be prepared to be successful and more financially literate, what's the best way for them to connect with Junior Achievement?
Well, you can go to our website, which is easternshoreja.org. I always tell people to follow us on Facebook, which is Junior Achievement of the Eastern Shore. We post class openings, so you can just look at your Facebook page and see what's opening, what's open, you know, and if it's a classroom or a school that you want to teach at, you can just reach out to us that way. So.
And having done it myself, an easy way to get started is to volunteer at your own kids' class.
That's right.
Because then you're familiar and you have some friendly faces and you likely know the teacher, and they'll, you know, of course they're always supportive, but it helps you sort of, and we also, I know a couple of different times we've partnered up with somebody who, you know, hasn't been in the classroom before and is just a little nervous, and so that way you can sort of tag team and share the experience. So it's a, you know, it can be very easy, and then you're hooked.
Yeah, and let me tell you, you know, those kids, you know, your son, they get so excited when their parents are in the classroom and they're like, oh, my mom's coming today, or my dad's coming today, and you know, they get the little thank you cards with the cute little, you know, my mom was in the classroom. I just love it. It's
you
great.
get the most wonderful gifts when you've finished teaching your JA week, you know, all of these little handmade notes or things, so the teachers really appreciate it, and
They do.
and they help the kids express that.
They do.
So we're with Jamie Hayes, president at Junior Achievement here, serving 6 counties on the Eastern Shore. And one of the things that we are really excited about at the Community Foundation is an opportunity to partner with you and with the Henson Foundation because of your great access and connection with the local school systems to enhance some of your programming for older kids. So I want to talk a little bit about how you transition from, you know, that in the classroom, volunteer-led programs for, you know, the little ones, and then what that JA experience looks like for middle and high school kids, and sort of how you transform your, you know, your education and curriculum with them. Then we'll talk a little bit about our partnership.
Great. Yeah, so our middle school and high school programs obviously dive deeper into our concepts. So we have a personal finance course. So they're learning about 401k, retirement planning, savings, payroll taxes, filing your taxes. They fill out a 1040 EZ. We teach them all that stuff that, imagine graduating high school at 18, boom, you have to fill out a tax form. It's difficult. Understanding what a W-2 is, reading a W-2, what's a 1099, what if I get one? So we do all of that in our personal finance. And those classes are delivered by anybody because, again, the content and material are all in there. We also have like our JA entrepreneurship program, which teaches them to start their own business. And we love to think of ourselves as a great sort of feeder into the YAY program that the Chamber so greatly puts together, where they actually have students creating their own business. But when we teach JAB entrepreneurial, they don't even know what the word entrepreneurship means. They don't even know oh, I could start my own business? Like, oh, I thought that was just for certain types of people. No, anyone can start. You just have to have an idea. Right. So we kind of introduce the concept. And then we have our Career Success Program, which we've partnered with SHRM. So the Senior HR Management, Society of HR Management. We have HR directors and HR staff delivering programs. How to interview, what are they looking for on a resume, what kind of work ethic. Once you get into the job, how do you move up through your career, fitting in before you stand out, dressing appropriately. I mean, it's unfair to look at these kids and say, or students, and say, you know, they don't know how to dress appropriately. Well, nobody's ever told them. You have to stop and say, this is what you're supposed to wear. And so we have an amazing partnership with them, and we are so excited for them to be teaching that part. Because I think that's an enhancement to even being delivered by the experts, you know, the people that will be interviewing you.
Absolutely. And it just strikes me that all those different aspects you just talked about, it's really empowering for students when, you know, just going back to something as simple as, and for people who've never done it, it's not simple, but it can be really simple to fill out your own 1040 EZ. Mm-hmm. You get your W-2, you have this form, the information's right there. Mm-hmm. If you have been sort of encouraged and educated what those mean,
right,
that's a very simple process, and it can save them money because they can do it themselves. And,
right.
You know, so it helps, I think, for a lot of students have more confidence in what they actually are capable of and what opportunities are open, because those tools that are so fundamental to being successful as an adult are coming in before they're getting, you know, before they're graduating from high school.
Right. We want students to own their own economic success. We want them, whatever home environment they go home to, they can create their own future. So they can stop the vicious cycle of poverty. If that's the situation that they're in, they can own their future. They can own their success. They can own their money. They can, you know, they can budget. I mean, people don't have to make a ton of money to budget and live within your means. It's just understanding that. And all these concepts sometimes aren't taught at home. And this is where it takes a community to raise a child comes in. Like, you can't complain about what's going on and not get involved. And so that's all we're asking, is to just one time a year, volunteer. That's all we ask for. And every year, if you do the same class and the same teacher, it's the same program, it becomes so easy. I mean, I have volunteers that don't even need a guidebook. They know exactly what's going on, and they sometimes tell me what the best practices are. So.
And you can add. I mean, because you can really personalize and sort of share your own experience and integrate things that are, so it does provide just, you know, comfort if you need it, but then also sort of a launching pad. Now, one of the things that JA does and that you're doing here in the community and are a couple of years in is the Finance Park Virtual, which for, you know, the older students, I think probably has a tremendous amount of appeal, just because anything digital for, you know, or online for kids is more interesting than, you know, paperwork. So walk us through what that experience provides to students.
I am so excited. We were able to buy the license, so we now can provide this Finance Park virtual program here on the shore. And what it is a very intense lesson. So it's between 13 and 23 visits. It's actually delivered by the teacher, and then we have experts, part of our speakers bureau, come in and deliver specific topics. So they'll be learning the 1040 EZ. They'll be learning do you buy a car? Do you lease a car? And Pohanka is one of our sponsors. They have people from their dealership coming in and talking to the kids. What does an application look like? What are they looking for? Are they looking at my credit scores?
What are interest rates?
Yes.
What does that mean to the price of my car?
And how do I pay? Do I need to go to a bank first, or do I go to you first? These are all things, to be honest, I don't know that I knew. I kind of want to sit into some of these classes as well. But Allstate comes in and talks about car insurance with that car. We have PNC Bank that not only talks about opening a bank account, but what a savings account is, what a checking account is, what are banking fees, and understanding what that means, and everything from credit scores. You know, I think it's amazing that when kids find out a credit score, everything you do carries with you for a very long time. It makes kids think before getting that credit card and racking up that big debt. Anyway, so this program has all these lessons, and at the end is a simulation, which is an online virtual simulation They get a life situation that's completely at random. So you're 42 years old, you have 2 kids, and you make $37,000 a year. Good luck. And you get dumped into this virtual city. You have to go open a bank account. You have to go grocery shopping. You have to buy a house. You have to get a car, obviously not in that order.
Right.
And you have to live the day in the life of that person. And at the end, you're either in the red or the black. And we need to talk about that. What decisions could you have made along the way? But one component we have there that we're partnering with you on is giving back. You know, do you have money left over? Well, you should be giving back to your community. And here's why. So that's another part of that. We also have Pocomoke High School, who has just completed the program. We'll be going to the physical finance park facility in Prince George's County. So they're actually going to go do the virtual in an actual city. So
it's a city that's created,
yeah,
and they go in and there's a grocery store and a bank and all.
So they'll walk around. Yep, they'll walk around. They'll go into their bank and they'll open up their bank account and they'll walk into the grocery store and they'll go grocery shopping. So they get to be an adult for an entire day, and it's absolutely amazing. I feel like it's one of those things that you'll never ever forget for the rest of your life.
I bet they throw less things into the cart the next time they go grocery shopping, perhaps. You
Yeah.
know, once they see that, you know,
Yes.
oh, milk costs, you know,
$5.
$5.
Yeah. Well, we had a student, I went to visit a class recently, and he had budgeted $20 a month for groceries. And I was like, did you mean 200? And he said, no, 20. And I didn't say anything because I want him to experience that. And he's in the grocery store and he's like, all I've gotten is milk, eggs, and bread, and I'm already at $18. And I'm like, yeah. So he had to go back to the drawing board and he did $20 a week, and obviously that didn't work. And then he was like, wow, I had no idea how much groceries were. It's like, I've never been to a grocery store before.
Right.
He's like, it's really expensive. I'm like, yeah, so when you come home and you eat 7 peanut butter jelly sandwiches and your mom's like, stop, you know why.
And I know that the foundation and the Henson Foundation, when we, you know, saw this opportunity, because a huge component of every community, and we know this because we work for nonprofits, is the value and the service and the programs and the support that the nonprofit sector brings to the community. And that's always, I think, something that students do tend to get from a volunteer perspective.
Right.
They've often been either involved in something or service hours for school, and so they know that that need exists, and they know that there are services. But I think one of the disconnects that I know I see in my own experience with kids and in the classroom is there's this impression, perhaps, that nonprofits are just all volunteer, and that they don't correlate them to a business, that that's an actual business that employs people, that there are jobs you can have in the future with a nonprofit, that the nonprofit organization needs to raise money for salary and for expenses that they have, for purchases of, you know, everything from copier paper to, you know, keeping the electricity on at their office. And that business aspect of the nonprofit really, I think, could lend itself for a lot of students to see the value and the benefit of contributing dollars if they're fortunate to have them, or to maybe aspire to that might be a career path.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so excited. It's funny, we teach corporate philanthropy, and so again, there's that disconnect, and I feel like some of the students that we serve, you know, maybe use the services that our nonprofits are delivering out here in the community, and for them to realize, you know, they don't just exist. You know, money doesn't grow on trees. We teach that already, but that nonprofits need support, and I think it's important that they know that there are people out there that are successful and they have those dollars to give, and they care enough about their community, and they care about those kids to give that money so that they can get everything they need to be successful for the future. And I think, you know, sometimes if you're using services, it's just, you know, you're just giving them. You don't see the connection behind that. And I think that is going to have huge impact. If you stop and think, wow, somebody cared enough to donate XYZ amount of dollars so I could eat, wow,
Right.
And in the future, when I have money, I want to make sure that I give back as well because I was able to use those services. I think it's going to be amazing. I am so excited. I mean, thank you to you guys and to the Henson Foundation for coming up with this idea and really thinking, how can we explain to these kids that there's so much more, and the job aspect is amazing. People always ask me, "Oh, are you volunteering?" And I'm like, "No, I get paid."
Right, and they certainly the kids that I have interacted with through Junior Achievement. That's the first thing they know what volunteering is because it's something we talk about in JA, and they understand that that's something that connects them to a lot of, you know, the zoo or Junior Achievement or a lot of programs that they're familiar with. But it's that behind the scenes.
Yep.
This is a business, this is an employer, this is a place that, you know, generates revenue, and that can be, I think, really transformative for some kids in a variety of different ways to sort of make that broader connection. So I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to, you know, be part of the volunteer corps that's and certainly for all the time and energy that you're putting into it. So before we wrap up today, I do want to make sure that, you know, if there's you know, needs you have for volunteers or specific things coming up that you'd love to make sure people know about, or just remind them how to stay connected, to make sure I give plenty of time for that in today's episode.
So we teach all year long, including the summer. So anytime you feel like your schedule is available, check out our Facebook page, Junior Achievement of the Eastern Shore. You can see what opportunities are coming up. If there's a time of year you know is convenient, you can just let us know, hey, contact me in September, and we'll contact you in September. Or, hey, my student goes to this school and with this teacher, can you let me know when that class is coming up? So you can reach out to us and let us know proactively what you want. Or you can just, like I said, check out the Facebook page. You go to our website. We always have a list of upcoming classes, easternshoreja.org, and you can pick whatever's convenient for your time and schedule. And teachers are so excited to have you in the classroom, and they are so wonderful. They're so willing to work around your schedule. So if you can't do Monday through Friday, and you can do Monday and Wednesday and maybe Tuesday and Thursday of next week, they are going to work with you, and they will make sure that the kids are ready and prepared. So we always have classes. Again, we're in 6 counties, and we teach kindergarten through 12th grade. So there's always something going on.
Always an opportunity.
Right. I'm sure lots of nonprofits sing that same thing, but we always need volunteers. And if you feel like I can't commit to 5-6 days, we have our Speakers Bureau. So if you are an HR person or personal finance or whatever your job is, marketing director, you know, executive director of a nonprofit, you can come in and talk to the kids for one 45-minute delivery in high school and have huge impact. So we have all kinds of opportunities, all kinds of ways. You mentioned the partnering where you could go into the classroom together if you're nervous. You can relay, we call it relay, where you know, Monday you teach, the next person teaches
Share
Tuesday.
a week, yeah.
Yep, so you can share so it's not so much time. So we have so many opportunities. There's just so many ways that you can make this happen. And again, once a year, that's all we're asking for. Yeah, please check out our Facebook page, Eastern Shore J. easternshoreja.org is the website, and then just search Junior Achievement of the Eastern Shore on Facebook. And there you will also see our upcoming Ladies Night Out on February 9th at Black Diamond.
And you do that every year, right? So
our
if somebody
12th year.
happens, if it's already past February 9th and someone's worried, there's always, and your Facebook page keeps people engaged of all the upcoming events.
Yep, and we have them all over the shore. So there's something going on everywhere. So
that is wonderful. Well, thank you for your time. Appreciate
you.
it very much. You've been watching Community Foundation Spotlight. Today our guest was Jamie Hayes, President of Junior Achievement of the Eastern Shore. We will look for you next time. And remember, get connected, volunteer, make a difference, and support your local JA.
thank you.
From the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore, thanks for watching Community Foundation Spotlight.